U.S. Tax Code Section 6103, remember those numbers, 6103, provides Congress the legal authority to get the tax returns. Show us the Mueller report, show us the tax returns, and we're not walking away just because you say no the first time around.
While his taxes continue to be under audit, he doesn't anticipate that changing at any point anytime soon, and therefore doesn't have any intention to release those returns.
Yeah, but nevertheless, as you heard, Democrats vowing to continue investigations into President Trump. But is that really what voters want? GOP pollster Frank Luntz joining us now. So post-Mueller, Frank, do Americans want any more of these investigations?
So I've done a couple sessions with voters since the Mueller report was released, and there's one word to summarize all of this, and that word is enough. Enough of these investigations, enough of these subpoenas. People believe that the Mueller report was extensive. They believe it was comprehensive. They know that a lot of money was spent, and they're not necessarily sure that it was spent the right way or a helpful way, and they simply want it to stop. The thing that we try to measure as pollsters is what is your priority. They want prescription drug prices brought down. They want health care and pre-existing conditions dealt with. They want energy independence so they don't have to buy oil from companies that do us damage. They want real quality of life changes, and this is the last thing that they're looking for. In a list of 10 priorities, it comes in number 10. So go ahead, Democrats, do this, and then you're going to wonder why your polling numbers drop, and you're going to wonder why you're not successful. Well,
and you know, Democrats are familiar with polls as well. They presumably will eventually get the message, but how long is it going to take them? I mean, you have Adam Schiff still going on about how he saw evidence of collusion that apparently Robert Mueller with 70 FBI agents missed. You have Nancy Pelosi saying, remember that number, 6103. I don't think most Americans care about 6103, frankly.
But don't forget that it gives these people publicity. And the tragedy is that they're putting their own
But maybe the wrong
careers.
Kind of publicity, forgive me.
On an individual basis, they're becoming famous. Other Democrats are getting to know them. Some of them are using this to run for president. They're running and doing these things on the back of actually getting something done. I have a simple question to ask. And this is very frustrating because I believe the investigation was the right thing to do. But it's been done. What have you accomplished? Speaker Pelosi, Democrats in Congress, what have you accomplished in the first 100 days? The public can't see it, and that's the reason why Congress still has abysmal approval ratings.
Well, and as we were just talking before, we have an immigration crisis on the border. Even Democrats now have to admit that it is a crisis, particularly after Jay Johnson and other members of the Obama administration came out and said, absolutely, it's a crisis. So they admit it's a crisis, but they're not moving on legislation, whether it's the asylum law or whatever, to change that. I think that's got to come back to bite them in 2020, no?
Well, they're going to have to answer to the public. What did you do? You were successful. You won the majority. What have you accomplished? When you go back and look at the first 100 days when Republicans captured the House from the Democrats, it was so busy with policy, legislation, things that really mattered to people. Here, it's just about investigations. And I will tell you, the public is fed up.
Well, they're on the Republican side. They're pushing for investigations looking into what caused the FBI and the DOJ to drop everything and focus on the phony collusion charge, most of which came out of this Trump dossier and other work that was clearly political in nature, maybe even influenced by Russian intel. So should the Republicans, because there is this public exhaustion with investigations, should Republicans just give that one up, or should they continue to pursue that?
Both sides. This is a message for Republicans, but primarily Democrats, but for Republicans as well. Focus on fixing health care.
Yeah.
Focus on securing the border. Focus on improving quality of life, and stop with these partisan political investigations because the public's had enough of it.
All right. Well, the Senate, as you know, there are two big senators, Lindsey Graham and Mr. Grassley, who've come out and said that there need to be investigations because what happened in the Trump collusion story was so egregious in so many ways that we have to investigate it to stop it from happening in the future. But you would advise them to table that for the immediate future, at least up until 2020?
I understand the victims of this. I understand how the president and the administration feel. I understand and I appreciate their desire to prevent this from happening again. But you asked me a polling question, a public opinion question, and the American people want that border secured. They want to stop illegal immigration from flooding across. They want lower prescription drug prices. They want health care. They want everything but these subpoenas. They want everything but this ridiculous culture in Washington, this gotcha culture. And they would be wise to listen to the American people.
Very quickly, Frank, on the issue of socialism, you saw Biden call it out by name yesterday. I'm wondering if the American people do react viscerally to socialism in a negative way. What do you think?
I think that the American people are all about freedom, not socialism. And I think AOC and some of her colleagues, some of these presidential candidates do not understand that the American people do not want Venezuela here. They do not compare us to the Scandinavian countries. They want freedom, freedom to work where they want, freedom to make the money that they want, and they don't want Washington taking it. If this is a debate about control versus freedom, freedom is going to win every time.
Frank Luntz, great to see you, Frank. Thank you. He's right in
Pleasure.
Vegas. He's going to see the president later this afternoon. Good to see you, Frank.